Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. I hope you're enjoying our March collaboration of marching in with casseroles. I'm sure you saw the casserole dish back here, so you know we're going for another one. Hope you're enjoying some of the other YouTubers that I have sharing with us. Today we're going to go more off of what you normally think of as a casserole as a dinner meal, and we're going to do a breakfast casserole. This one's going to be very simple. It's going to use prepared things already. We're going to use 2 things of cinnamon rolls. I'm going to use some bacon. This is going to top it all off. Apples and maple syrup, eggs. If you haven't figured out, we're going to make a cinnamon roll casserole. So first of all, we're going to get we're going to get 1 stick of butter melted, because this is going to be our base, our non-stick for the casserole, and just more deliciousness. I've got 1 apple that I'm just chopping in small pieces. This is Yellow Delicious. I've already got most of it cut. This is going to be added to the cinnamon rolls as well. You want to cut them in kind of small pieces, because unless you like it crunchy in the casserole, because it's only going to bake for about 25 minutes to soften up. So there are apples. We're going to use the cinnamon rolls. I remember growing up, this is the one breakfast my sister always made. It's the only one she actually could make, I think. But every Saturday she would have cinnamon rolls going in the oven, which was nice to wake up to. In fact, I think to this day she still did it for her kids and now her grandkids. We're going to save the icing, and we're going to use that at the end. But we're going to take all the cinnamon rolls out, and we're going to cut them in about 8 pieces each. And we're going to put them into the casserole after the butter's melted. But just stack them a couple on top of each other. Cut them in about 8 pieces. Guess I should make some room here. Probably a little overkill with this knife on cinnamon rolls, but I was using it for the apples, so why not? Turn that down a little bit. Now this is basically just like a bread pudding, except in a bread pudding, your bread's already baked, already cooked, it's done. So this, with the raw dough, is the only difference in any kind of a bread pudding you'd make. Plus, this is already seasoned with the cinnamon and spices they have in there. Okay, let's stir this butter just a little bit. Maybe we can turn that off and the rest will melt here shortly. Now normally, I'm sure you've seen other recipes on the internet for cinnamon roll breakfast casserole. I've changed mine a little bit. I like adding apples to it, and I like the bacon. So I don't think I've seen that anywhere. Totally optional on both of those. You don't have to put the apple or the bacon in, but it's just something that I like to have extra in mind. And this is an easy breakfast you can do the night before for Christmas, or if you have guests, put it all together, put it in the refrigerator, and then the next morning just take that, let it sit for about 10 minutes to warm up just a little bit, and then you can bake it from there. So there's our butter. That around in there just a little bit. And then just put your pieces of cinnamon roll in here. This is going to be the part that takes the longest, is just separating all these and stacking them in. See a little more. This is basically almost like a French toast casserole. Like I said, the same as with the bread pudding, the bread's already cooked, so this is just baking up and absorbing all the butter as it's baking. Let's get these in there. Get some bigger chunks here. I'll just cut these in fours. Try to get it spread out pretty evenly. It's going to bake up and spread, but you don't want any big gaps in there. All right, so now we got the cinnamon rolls all spread out on there. Okay, now we can put the apples. And like I said, it's just one apple. Looks like it might be a little bit too much. That was a big apple I cut. I may just have to use half of this, and I'll just munch on the other. Yeah, we're just gonna use half. Depending on the size of the apple, you're gonna need about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of apple. Get that spread out down in there. And then you can use whatever kind of nut you like. I like pecans, you can use almonds, you can use black walnuts. But half a cup to a cup, just sprinkle those across on top. And then of course our bacon. So if you make bacon on a Saturday morning, save some of it for Sunday and put it in here. Just gonna add a saltiness to it. And I love sweet and salty together. Now the last thing we're going to do is we're going to use 6 eggs. It's basically like a little custard that's going to bake into and hold the cinnamon rolls together and make it form the casserole. And we're going to put 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We're going to use about a half a cup of heavy cream. And about a teaspoon of vanilla. I use my homemade. Maybe a little bit more. And bring all that together without making too much of a mess. Cinnamon always is a hard thing to get mixed into things. It's easier just sprinkling on top than trying to get it mixed into a mixture. Seems like the dryness just doesn't want to cooperate and go down into the liquid. There we go. Okay. Pour that over the top. Try to get as evenly as you can. It will spread out a little bit when it starts baking. Let's help it out a little bit here. And then if this wasn't rich enough, we're going to pour about half a cup to 2/3 cup, whatever you prefer, of maple syrup right across the top. It's going to bake in. Good. And if that butter on the bottom wasn't enough, we're going to make this even more decadent. I'm going to just slice up some butter here and put it on top to cook down in there. Just a few little pats. I mean, come on, we've already got syrup in here. We got butter on the bottom. We got bacon. Let's just make it as decadent as we can. Okay, here we go. Now I've got my oven preheated at 350 degrees. We're gonna bake it for about 25 minutes and then let it cool for about 15 minutes, and we'll be back and I'll show you what we're gonna do with that icing. Okay, everybody, we're back. I got the casserole out. It took actually about 30 minutes. I checked it at 20 and 25. It still needed a little bit more cooking, or baking, so I left it in for a little bit, 5 more minutes. I did turn on the broiler at the very end. I like it browned a little bit on top, so if it's not totally, brown on top after it's baked, I just turn on the broiler. It gives better presentation for your guests, your family, and everybody. So I told you earlier we were going to save that sugar or icing that came in the containers. I've got them in the microwave, and I just microwaved it for about a minute just to loosen it up. And you can definitely, if you, and I'm sure just like my family, growing up we always loved this frosting or icing, whatever you want to call it, on top. So you can always make more with just little powdered sugar, a little bit of milk, and just drizzle it all on top here. You can also, instead of putting it on now, you can leave it in the container and let everybody put their own on theirs. But I find when you do that, you're not going to get any less one. You're one of the first people doing it because it goes fast. So I let it cool for about 15 minutes. And I'm putting on the icing. Now you can let that sit and it'll set up. The icing will, set just like it would on the regular cinnamon rolls. But I'm going to go ahead and cut into this now because I want to taste it. And remember, I'm going to put a link down in the video, down in the comments, and to all the contributors. So there's other pages. You need to go to their YouTube channel and watch theirs. For the casserole dishes and the casserole carrier, remember you need to comment on each video and subscribe to their channel because you're going to love everything that everyone's doing. So I'll put all that down in the bottom. We'll do the drawing on, I believe, the 31st, the last day of the month. Wow. Great breakfast casserole. Believe me, you can make this for dinner, put some ice cream on it, a great dessert, even a bedtime snack, which will probably be my bedtime snack tonight. I love the apples and the bacon, the flavors added to it. Don't forget to like this video, put your comment down below, and we'll see you on the next Marching In with Casseroles. Take care. Bye-bye.